call Moana Mackie.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. Well, so speaks the former Minister for Manufactured Crises. So speaks the former Minister not for local government but against local government. And I congratulate my colleague Annette King for bringing this bill to the House, because it is a matter that impugns all of local government. And they don't need that when they have an enemy in the current national government. And they have a very real enemy in the current national government. Because let's not forget that the former minister who just took his seat was the one who manufactured a crisis in ACC so that he could push through reforms that he knew were deeply unpopular and that would undermine our world-leading scheme. He then went on to try and do exactly the same thing with local government, with figures that were so dodgy that they were taken down off the government website not long after they were put up. And the reforms that he has lauded here in the House today were all based on figures that were so shoddy they had to be removed from a government website. So shoddy, because local government debt is at prudent levels. In fact, it wasn't that long ago that local government was being accused of having lazy balance sheets, of not borrowing enough to fund infrastructure. It wasn't that long ago that that was a criticism of local government. And the good thing about the 2002 Local Government Act, Mr Speaker, was it required long-term planning. And this is one of the areas where local government had gotten into trouble. Instead of looking for a long-term plan for their infrastructure needs and spreading that cost out over a period of time so that massive rates increases wouldn't be required, local government weren't doing that. And so we did see some big rate increases to pay for core infrastructure. And everything this national government does now continues to undermine that position of local government. Let's look at the issue of local roads, for example, and the cost to local government of that. Well, our provincial councils have lost huge amounts of support and assistance from central government because it's all being sucked out to pay for the roads of national significance. Well, how does that help those provincial councils who are now facing rate increases, not because of the Local Government Act 2002, not because of the former Labor government, but because this government is making decisions to suck money away from them, to stop assisting them? That's what's causing rate increases in a number of the provincial councils, Dr Smith. And the Local Government Act 2002 did a very important thing. It allowed mayors to really decide what was important, and councillors to decide what was really important to their community, what really was going to be the game changer, what really was going to assist their communities to grow economically, environmentally, culturally and socially. And the mayors have taken that job on with two hands and relished it. They've led charges against youth unemployment. In Kawerau, they've led charges against youth suicide. They've led charges for economic development. Local government is not just about potholes and rubbish and wastewater. Local government is about communities, and that's why the Labor government doesn't support the approach of the current national government, who wants to take those abilities and those powers away from local government based on figures that are so dodgy that the government themselves had to pull them from the website. And I hope that the Honourable Dr Nick Smith, who's a member of the Local Government and Environment Select Committee, will attend all the submissions so that the local mayors can actually say direct to his face in a way that they haven't been able to before what his reforms are going to do to local government in this country. Because it is retrograde, it will take communities backwards, and no amount of dodgy figures and made-up reasons and manufactured crises changes the fact that those reforms are going to be very, very damaging for local government, and what's damaging for local government is damaging for the country. So I welcome this piece of legislation from the Honourable Annette King. It does provide a process for local government that is welcome. It does provide some kind of comparison between like jobs, which I would have thought would be welcomed. The Local Government and Environment Select Committee is about to start hearing submissions on the government bill. This would seem to me to be a good time to send Annette King's bill to Select Committee alongside that local government bill so that we can consider the two together. Because the issue of remuneration of chief executives is important. But how very telling that Nick Smith said that's the most important thing local government does. The most important thing local government does is set a chief executive's salary. That's not the most important thing local government does. It is important, But the appointment of the chief executive, in my mind, and from what I see local mayors in my communities doing, is not the most important thing they do. They are community leaders. They are the face of that community when something goes wrong, when we have a civil defence emergency, whether there's some kind of social issue, whether there's an economic issue. They are the ones who front on behalf of their community. To say the most important thing they do is to set the chief executive's salary shows just how much contempt the National Party has for local government. That's why Nick Smith can roll his eyes.
Sorry to interrupt the honourable member. Her time has expired.
Supports this bill. Well done to the honourable Annette King.
Point of order, the honourable Annette King.
Mr Speaker, I seek leave to table the figures in the Department of Internal Affairs' first version of Better Local Government, only to have them removed a few days later. I then seek leave.
Is this a public document?
No, I tell you what, it's been removed, so it ain't public. No, it's not.
Order.
It's not available.
Order. There's a point of order being heard.
Mr Speaker, no, it's not available because it was on the website then removed
I will put leave is sought for that purpose. Is there any objection? There is objection.
Mr Speaker, I seek leave to table version 2 of the Department of Internal Affairs Better Local Government that's got the figures removed from it.
Now, is that... Hang on.
Yes, it's available.
Well, we're not putting something that's available. Right.
Mr Speaker, I seek leave to table a letter from the current Minister of Local Government to me saying he won't release the corrected figures because it would distract from the reforms. You need to know what it's about.
No, you've told me it's a letter from the current member of... Point of order, the honourable Nick Smith.
There's a long-established standing order that you can't seek leave for the same document twice.
No, this is not the same document. This is a letter. She's asking leave.
Point of order. Point of order.
Point of order, Dr. Nick Smith.
I think we misunderstood each other, Mr Speaker. On a previous occasion, the same member sought...
I have already ruled on that, and that's the end of the matter. The leave is now sought to table... Well, I haven't put it yet. Leave is now sought for... Hey, can't say that. Leave is sought to table this letter. Is there any objection? Yes. There is objection. I'm now... The Honourable Dr Nick Smith.
Mr Speaker, I seek leave to table the Department of Internal Affairs official advice showing that in the 10 years after Labor's local government
Is this a public document?
It's advice provided...
Order. Where you're asking, he is speaking. Is this a public document?
It's an individual advice, so it's not a document that's been openly on a website.
Is it in the public domain?
Sorry?
Is it in the public domain?
It is like any document that's been provided as departmental advice, can be obtained under the Official Information Act.
Well, we're not going to table that.
Why not? Point of order, Mr Speaker.
Order.
Point of order, Mr Speaker.
If it's on the website, then it's in the public domain. Point of order. Well, hang on, I need clarification. Sorry? I'm dealing with a point over here. I will ask the member, is this on the website?
No.
It's not on the website. Then I will put leave for this purpose. Is there any objection? There is no objection. Now, the Honourable Clayton Cosgrave.
Mr Speaker, I just briefly seek your advice because I'm not challenging the fact that leave has been declined for a series of documents. That's the House's right and privilege. But where a member has constantly made the statement that members' statements around figures, for instance, are untrue, as that member had repeatedly, and then he denies leave for the figures to be tabled, what are the remedies, sir, or is he hiding the truth?
We've put leave... Order. We've put leave for these purposes. They've been declined. We're moving on. I'm calling Nikki Wagner.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. Thank you, Mr Speaker. I rise to take a call on this local government salary moderation amendment.